All right, good afternoon. This is Coach Big Peter of Deep Dish Football and the Wing Report. Please follow Coach Big Peter Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. It is time now for final thoughts between Batavia and Lemont, which I believe is going to be a great game. Friday night, Week 1 in IHSA football season 2018. I think the key points that interest me are Batavia's passing attack, Lemont's running attack. Both teams in their lines, see how they hold up. I said this yesterday. There will probably be a lot of mishaps and mistakes and errors on both teams' parts because it's the first week of the season. I will not be surprised by it. The past 2 years that I've been covering IHSA football for Deep Dish Football, I saw it in both weeks, and when I was coaching, it was always happening the first week too. Just basically a preseason. You can say pre-game jitters, but you can also say a preseason jitters. And these kids are finally seeing are going against the team and not against them other teammates of their team. And it's going to be a little bit fun, but it's going to be mostly. I'm expecting mistakes, a lot of flags flowing. But again, it's usual for Week 1 football, high school football, so it's going to be no surprise there. Looking at Lemont's roster and seeing everything as especially those core of linebackers that I'm going to be very interested in. Cade Campos, I believe, is one of the more underrated players in the state of Illinois, and he deserves more respect than he's getting. The kid's fast, the kid's instinctive, and the kid makes plays. So I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out for Cade Campos as he reads his keys and goes against that Batavia offense. For Batavia, I'll be especially looking at their young offensive lineman. I'm forgetting Nolan Eek. He graduated, one of their stud offensive linemen. So it'll be interesting to see that Batavia offensive line. Also keeping a very close eye on that kid, a wide receiver for Batavia, Rampart. Definitely a kid you want to keep an eye out for. Transfer out of Mooseheart to Batavia is definitely could be a fall riser for in the recruiting trail. Rampart is definitely a kid you want to keep an eye out for. Wide receiver for Batavia High School. Fell at defensive tackle / nose guard. He's going to be interesting to see what he does, especially his main objective, especially that defensive line, is, like I said, create room for those linebackers, read the keys, coverage, basically making that tackles. That's their keys, and it'll be very interesting to see. And I'm looking towards the defensive end, Ethan Towers, young. A little bit young, but I would say basically could be one of the best defensive ends in the state of Illinois, as we discuss defensive ends. Tight end, Lutzwig, definitely a kid that I'm keeping an eye out for from Batavia. Poliard at linebacker from Lemont. Stricker, defensive tackle, defensive end, all-around defensive lineman, and center for Lemont. Definitely keep an eye out for him. Who the running back core for Lemont going to be very interesting. Their Anthony kid, he graduated from Lemont, so it's going to be interesting to see what Lemont puts onto the field. I know about 2/3 of the team. What they're going to put on the field, but with those kids graduating, and Nagel graduated. Sambucci's a wide receiver that I'm definitely looking forward to see what he does. He's a playmaking wide receiver for Lemont. They got a little Nagel, so see what he's up to too. They got a great young kicker from Lemont. He's going to be a junior, if I'm not mistaken. He looks good. Keep an eye out for him too. It's going to be a good game. Like I said, I think whoever wins in the running game is going to win the game. I don't think there's going to be. I'm not going to be surprised if there's not a lot of passing, especially in the first or second quarter. I think the game's going to be open up, and I think this game's going to be a lot closer than people think. And I think Lemont's got the players that they could could um, could get the win. But I believe Batavia's linebackers, they're good. The safety Conger, he's good. Playmaking, he's one of the best safeties in the state. And I believe now that in this high school game, with the spread and everything else, if you have a good one or two safeties, you're going to have a hell of a season. And Batavia has that. But it should be interesting. And it's again two communities that support their high school football programs, Lemont and Batavia, which is even more positive, and it's good to see. You don't get that much anymore from high school communities, especially communities that shy away from their football programs. Lemont is very strong, Batavia very strong, and it's good to see. It's a good game. It's a good solid game of basically good two fan bases, good strong programs. Uh, Lemont has always been the problem is that Lemont's always been what's the joke? What's the old joke? The Lemont's always been the bridesmaid, never the bride. That's basically what you can say because they've always come out in second place and all that other stuff for Lemont. But I do believe, and I say this before, Lemont High School within 3 or 4 years is going to have a top state team, and they're going to win the state titles. And because just of the movement of athletes and that into Lemont, it's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be something to watch. So definitely. But make sure you follow Coach Big Pete and Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. 8 p.m. tonight is Deep Dish Football Live. 8 p.m. Last thing, talk about Lemont, Batavia, talk about the games of the week. If you have any questions, my email is coachbigpete, fp@gmail.com. Breakfast with Coach Big Pete is 9 a.m. Saturday on Deep Dish Football Live, Facebook Live, sorry. Go over the game, go over all the games, big games of Friday night, and who gets the Pumpkin Spice Donut of the Night Award, who's the Player of the Night Award, who's the Player of the Game in the Deep Dish Football Game of the Night Award. Every Friday night after the game, I will get an article out by midnight, 1 a.m., about how the game went and everything else. So it should be interesting. Can't wait to see everyone in Lemont. It should be a fun time. Feel free to say hi. It's that easy. You basically see a big guy. If I had my beard longer, I look like Action Bronson or Bray Wyatt. But I don't. It's short. But just feel free to say hi and feel free to ask questions too. I've had a lot of parents ask questions to me at Games of the Week about recruiting. Feel free to ask me. No problem. Thank you so much and have a lovely day. And see you tomorrow. Let's get this started. IHSA football season 2018, week 1. Lemont versus Batavia, Deep Dish Football, game of the week.